What's going on, guys? Seth and Chevy here. We just watched episode 1 of season 2 of Frieren, Beyond Journey's End. I'll just be calling it Frieren for the rest of our reviews. And yeah, we watched this. Hopefully you had a chance to watch it. We're going to talk full spoilers ahead. And we're going to do a real quick recap. Very chill episode with some simple storytelling, which I appreciate after watching JJK and having to take notes. On all the rules and all the things. We're not talking about JJK, but if you want to see our reviews of that, go check that out. So this episode, we are reintroduced to the characters of last season, Frieren, Fern, and Stark, and they're all hanging out, and we are introduced to nullifying crystals that Frieren has that she supercharges with magic and creates a blinding light that can be seen from space. While they're walking down a trail, they end up falling in a hole and finding even more magic nullifying crystals, a whole cave full, and they are trying to find their way out, but this creates a problem of Frieren and Fern can't use their magic, so they have to rely on Stark to play defense for them while they find their way out. They end up running into a poisonous monster of some kind,
Venom dragon,
and they decide to run, which gives us a flashback of another time when Frieren experienced a similar situation with her last party, Himmel and the rest of them. I don't remember all their names because it's been a while.
Heroes, yeah.
Yep. And she, found it fun. Gave her that memory. Gave us a little bit of that charm that this show has. They continue on. They end up finding an inn, running into, what's his name? Werble. Who basically is trying to poach Stark to go up north
to help defend his home.
And before this, there was a little bit of awkward tension, nothing too crazy, but kind of brought up the question of whether Stark even should be here. Is he not being utilized? Is he not really wanting to be here? Maybe he could be better served somewhere else. This is something that Frieren is definitely, because she's very aloof in the way she views things. She's very open to that idea. And so when Verbal, I want to call him Verbal because everything's German in this.
It's probably correct then.
Yeah. When he wants to talk to him, she just is like, yeah, go for it. So they go and talk about it. Stark, of course, ends up, not wanting to go do that, kind of showing that, he's here for the party and here to stay. And, they split off. Verbal says he'll see them later because are they taking water?
They're going to take a boat.
Yeah, but then they're going to go by foot because going by sea is expensive, and they're following the journey.
Yep.
And they'll meet him at some other point. Is there anything else major that I missed?
Those are the major beats.
Yeah. All right. What do we think?
First off, I just want to kind of comment on the OP and the ED real quick. The OP, I think, is going to take me a couple listens to have an opinion on, but I do generally like Miss Green Apple, so I was kind of surprised to see them. I haven't heard them in a while. And then the ending was Millet again, and I absolutely loved it, but I think Millet's fantastic. So
I thought the intro's visuals are cool. The song was like whatever for me.
I'm wondering if it'll grow on me, because I didn't dislike it, but I was like... I don't know. It's new, right?
Yeah, it didn't do much for me. But but the visuals are cool. And then the outro I thought was really neat, the way it looked. The music was fitting. So I liked that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I really like Millet's voice, and she did the ending for the first season as well. So, so it was nice to see. I always get a little concerned, when we have such like solid, first seasons of stuff. An example, One Punch Man, right? Ironically, same studio. What the second season is going to be like, is the quality going to stay the same? And I'm happy to say that it's like we never left, which is nice.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, it looks great. The music's still like perfect. The pacing is still like exactly how I like it for the show.
This show, and I felt this way when we watched season 1, but there's like a certain charm. There's a bunch of elements of charm to the show, but there's a certain charm to the show that finally kind of like I felt reminded of like the Shire and Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
All the parts where you're in the Shire in the movies of Lord of the Rings feel like really like wholesome and fun and like charming, and like this whole show just has that kind of vibe of just like fantasy, but also like lightheartedness and stuff like that like is almost comforting. It's really weird.
Well, I think like one of my favorite things about like the story so far as a whole is like the author, whoever they are, like wrote some really good characters, and then they casted really good people to like do these characters for the show. So like it's just such a joy to watch everyone interact with each other, and they have just like normal conversations with each other. It's just really nice. And then when it needs to, it becomes more of a entertainment piece. Basically, you get your action scenes or your comedy bits and stuff like that, and they just do a good job of weaving all that in. I mean, even in this episode alone, there's a lot of like these little chuckling funny moments that were in there, like the hole dropped and they slowly are falling down, and then the crystals are at the bottom. They go, the only thing Frieren's gonna say, we might be in trouble, and then they fall. I'm just like, that's such a Frieren response. Like,
or when they were talking about girls, and Stark was like, girls, and she's like, I still remember when you called me a hag. And it's just like out of nowhere she just brings that up, and it's just and he like feels bad about it. It's like ridiculous.
And I just love it. And we've spent a lot of time with this party at this point, and so like just watching them constantly interact with each other and evolve and like get closer is a treat. The flashback when she was remembering the time when they ran was Madhouse deciding to flex some animation skills, because holy crap, that looked amazing. Especially there's that snippet there where Himmel moves over the beam, and Eisen just goes right into it with his axe, and like the beam's just splitting off his axe. It was like super cool looking. Also, it was kind of cool to see like Frieren's like sleeve was all burnt off, and like she had taken some actual damage, because like in a lot of the show she's basically invincible, with a handful of exceptions so far. So it's nice to see some struggle, right? I also kind of like the idea of the magic stones, because so far in the story magic's been like super powerful, and so it's nice to see a nullifying agent exist in this world, because like it gave them a real sense of danger, and it allowed like Fern to feel uncomfortable and in danger. Like she kind of goes through this whole thing where she's explaining like it basically feels like she's in darkness, because she's so used to being able to sense everything around her and stuff. And Stark was able to kind of like listen to her, like be vulnerable, and like be able to like feel for her in that moment. I also really enjoyed I was just getting moments of Fern just kind of like in her way really just kind of appreciate her loved ones in her life, where she's like cleaning these gifts she's received from these people in her life. And even like Frieren kind of mentions to her like you're smiling when you're cleaning your equipment, and it was just really wholesome. I really enjoyed that a lot. So I think it's been a fantastic start to this season. I'm super looking forward to the rest of it. The first season of Frieren is probably one of my favorite animes, so I'm very happy to be back. So
I was excited to watch this because I really liked the first season. So and I'm glad, like you already had mentioned going into it, it does feel like it we never left, and the quality's still there. I forgot how good the show looks. I really like the art style, but also the animation. Even though they don't have to get really crazy when they do, they back it. But also, they do some really cool stuff with colors in this show. Specifically, there was earlier in the episode a part where they were up early in the morning, and they captured that early morning glow in a way that I was watching. I'm like, of course this show is like putting work into fucking like trying to capture atmosphere of an early morning where like the sun's barely coming up, but everything has like this soft purplish orange glow to it. It just looked really fucking good. So I really appreciate, and we said this in the last season, but like the world building aspect and the atmosphere and the locations and all that stuff, they think about that a lot. There's a scene where they're like walking and there's like a rabbit or something. I don't remember.
It's like a squirrel thing.
Squirrel. Yeah, it was a squirrel run across the way, and it just kind of like adds to this world feeling like alive, which I really dig. As for what happened in the episode, it was a lot of fun. Like I said, really appreciate that it was like a pretty straightforward story element or storytelling that happened here, but Also, a lot of the more subtle character stuff that we got here of like, taking magic away and putting the emphasis on Stark having to step up and basically do what Frieren is trusting him to do.
Which honestly we needed, because the poor boy was left out of a lot of the last season. So.
Yeah, that's what I wanted from this season for sure, because I feel like Stark kind of got left out on a lot of stuff, especially towards the end of the season. And yeah, introducing that there is magic nullifying crystals is like, okay, well, that could come into play at some point, especially if they have a 3-meter radius. I was thinking though, when Fern was saying that they're in danger, I'm like, you just throw that thing and then start firing or whatever, because she lit her lighter finger up, but nothing was happening, and then when the crystal was gone, it was just going. I'm like, it's interesting. And yeah, I also love that as soon as Frieren started like putting magic into that crystal, it started just getting really bright, and she's just sitting there just doing it. And later, it's just over across the river, just glowing. Like that place is going to be looking like daytime at night.
Well, she did it again as a flash bomb against that dragon. So
yeah, when they escaped. So at least she could do something with her magic, even when it was being nullified. And then the conversation around whether Stark, would be happier doing something else. Should he even be here? And then basically him answering that question, which we already knew, but it's still good for the character development to see that confirmed, which was cool. Also interesting to revisit a character that we just saw in last season, and seemingly we'll see again, which kind of adds to the continuity of the story building of this world. So kind of dig that. I am definitely excited for the next episode. There is something about the show that just is like really just relaxing and comforting, except for when the action stuff happens, which they did really well in the first season, but in this episode, just the chill factor of it, I really enjoyed. Looking forward to the next episode to see what happens, and really like the episode. It's great. So anything else?
Oh, that covers it.
All right. Well, let us know in the comments what you guys think about this first episode of Frieren Season 2. Did you like it? Did you not like it? I'm sure you did. And what did you like about it? Maybe there's something in this episode we didn't discuss that you'd like to discuss. Let's talk about that in the comments. And then, this is a manga? No spoilers, please. We have not read that.
Would like to continue going into this blind.
Yes. And then recommendations this season. We can't take on anything that you guys recommend, likely, unless it's like a movie, maybe. But we'll take it into consideration. And next season, hopefully, we'll get a chance to watch it, because this season we are booked with Frieren, JJK, Trigun, Stargaze, and Hell's Paradise. Season 2. So we'll be watching those, doing seasonal and episodic reviews of all of them. But recommend away if you have something you think we should see. That's going to do it for this review, though. I've been Seth. This has been Chevy. Until the next review, we will talk to you guys later.